Hey everyone, welcome to another cooking video. So today I'm gonna show you how to make the perfect pickled red onions. In order to do this recipe we need to have around 1 kilo of red onions, apple cider vinegar, still water, salt and sugar. The ratio for this recipe is 1 cup of water, half a cup of vinegar, 2 tablespoons of salt and 1 tablespoon of sugar. So we're gonna start. First of all, I have a measuring cup over here. I'm just gonna put around half a liter of water. Right now I'm gonna add 250 ml of vinegar. And this is our pickling base. Now, we're gonna need to add some sugar and some salt. So I'm just gonna add 2 tablespoons of salt. And 1 full tablespoon of sugar. I'm gonna give it a good mix, and this right now is the pickling base. So what we need to do, we need to have it on fire. We need to heat it up. This is because we want the sugar and the salt to dissolve into the liquid, and we also want to have a hot liquid to pour on top of the onions. Then eventually, if you need a little bit more, you can just do it. Actually, why not? Let's just try to make half of a recipe more. 250 of water and around 125 of vinegar, followed by 1 tablespoon of salt and half a tablespoon of sugar. I'm gonna give it another good stir. It's always better to have a little bit more than a little bit less. And on you go on the fire. Now, at this point we need to slice the onions. Very important thing when you do this recipe, you need to have a jar, but in case you don't have a jar, just a regular glass bowl will do the trick, and in the end you can cover it with some plastic film. I'm gonna take the onions and just slice them first in half, and then just a quick julienne. Now, if you want to see how to do the best cuts and the right position, go and check the video. I have made a video on the exact technique that you can use to cut fruits and vegetables. So if you want to learn a little bit more, just go and check it out. There you go. So considering that my jar is not very big, I will not cut all the onions right now. I'm just gonna stop and then check if I will need more of them. There you go. And that's our red onions over here. So we take the jar. You can add whatever spices you want inside the jar. I prefer to add some thyme and why not a little bit of rosemary just to spice up things, and maybe some garlic cloves. But you can add pink peppercorn, black peppercorn, chilies if you want. I'm just adding some lime thyme to the jar and garlic clove. I don't want very much garlic taste, just 1 crushed clove inside will do. 1, and then I start adding the onions. The pickled onions, once done, you can use them for basically everything, starting from just sides as a side dish, or just eat them raw, or you can have them in a burger, or you can have them in hot dogs. You can pretty much put them everywhere. And if you're an onion lover like me, I promise you, you're gonna love this recipe. So over here, our pickling base is boiling right now. I don't want it to boil too much, otherwise it will evaporate. So what I'm gonna do, just gonna give a last mix, just to make sure that all the sugar and all the salt is melted inside. Use my fancy glove. Just pour all that liquid on top. As you can see, the onions over here tend to rise. So what you need to do right now is to take a spoon, push them down a little bit, and make sure that the pickle juice is covering them completely. So it's just on top. I have a perfect lid to push the onions down right now, but in case you have a different jar, you can just use some greaseproof paper or some baking paper, have it on top and just press it tiny bit. So what I'm doing right now, putting the lid on top, I'll give it a last clean and let it cool down. Now it's gonna take around 1 hour, 2 hours to cool down, but after that you can store it in the fridge for, I would say, up to 6 to 7 months if you're patient to leave it that much. But in my fridge it usually just lasts for about a month. I love pickled onions. So there you go, easy peasy, simple and quick pickled onion recipe. Enjoy!